Yo, what is going on, guys? This is the Ecom boss, and in today's video I want to talk about why you can never find winning products. This is going to be about Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and just your product research in general. I truly think that you guys watching need to master the art of product research. It's probably the most important thing when it comes to dropshipping, more important than how you do your ads. So that's what we're going to go over in today's video. It's going to be, as I said, Facebook ads, TikTok, product research, your product pages, how to make good descriptions, and just, sorry guys, my lamp in the background just went crazy. How you create your product pages, and also which strategies you should not use. I know there's a lot of people out there using outdated strategies, but there's no point wasting any time. If you want to master dropshipping, watch this video. I'm going to explain to you why you cannot find winning products. It's going to be good. So smash a like, please a thumbs up, and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. So if you want to join the dropshipping coaching program, which has been a huge success, you can message me on Instagram here. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first reason, and it's really obvious, there is going to be 15 reasons there. I actually put 16 on the screen, but the first reason to why you cannot find winning products is that you're mixing strategies. And what I mean by mixing strategies is, for example, especially if you're using Facebook ads or just an ad platform that requires skill or requires a strategy, if you're mixing my Facebook strategy with another YouTuber's Facebook strategy or your mentor's Facebook ad strategy, this will lead to problems most likely, because I'm going to do duplicates. I'm going to do changes on my ads on times where he or she would not, right? So let's just say when I hit 3 sales in an ad set, I put it to 25, but if you're following someone else's testing strategy and you put it to 25, maybe that doesn't really fit their strategy. So never make strategies. That's super important. We're just going to leave it down the dark path where you almost caught a winning product, but you couldn't really run the winning product because you messed up. You were mixing the strategies. Same with product research. You can't really mix strategies. Either you go for saturated products or you go for untapped products. Me personally, as you guys know, I really like untapped products. So that is the field that I'm going to develop my skill in even more. The second thing is that proven to work is usually not going to work for you.
Hello, what you doing?
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with niches. It's more based on just the product. So if a specific dog product is proven to work, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You can say that watches is something that's proven to work, which it actually is because it's working over and over again. Does that mean you're going to have a high chance of success if you're dropshipping watches? Chances are you're not going to do that, which means saturated products is usually proven to work. And you might say this is proven to work. You want to run something that is proven to work. Well, technically, you're just going into super saturated market where it will be a lot of competition that's just going to destroy you, because some other people out there, he's running your proven to work product for thousands of dollars a day to the best audience. He already got it all figured out, and you're going to come there and compete with $100 budget or $70 budget. It's probably not going to work, but a proven to work niche, that could be a smart thing. But don't go for proven to work products, which kind of means saturated products. The third thing you guys need to do, which you're probably doing wrong, is to tap into the right niches, the best niches. If you want, I could do a video on the best 5 or best 10 dropshipping niches right now. There's probably going to be the best niches in the next years too. I've been dropshipping now for 3 years, and the niches that I started in are still the best niches to this day. So niches you should not be in is often babies, for example, or it's just where the beginners are floating. And the beginners are floating in babies, pets, toys, etc. That doesn't mean you can't run a dog product successfully, because you truly can. Dogs can be a super good niche or good product in general, but then there's got to be a new one, okay? And it can't be all the same. But don't go into the niches where all the beginners are at, or where some pros are at too, where it's just a huge amount of competition. I'd rather go into, for example, the home niche. So some good niches for me is home and garden, healthcare, skincare. And yes, skincare, for example, is saturated, but it's such a broad niche. So you can find products in skincare that is not saturated too, which if you're in the dog niche, most of them are saturated or bad. But it's home and garden, healthcare, skincare, sports and entertainment is also a really good one. And I do like home improvement. Well, if you're dropshipping on a platform such as TikTok, for example, it can be really smart to run products such as rings and just accessories in general, which I would never recommend you guys to sell on Facebook. So you guys need to think, is this a TikTok product, a Facebook product, a Google product, etc. Which leads me into number 4. Each advertising platform has its own niche. That means that while you're running a product on TikTok, which could, for example, be, let's just say, rings or bracelets, that could go really well on TikTok, but it's clearly not a Facebook product, for example. It used to be back in the days, but this is just an example too. So that could work on Facebook. But as an example, let's just say rings work really well on TikTok. That means that this could be a TikTok product, but not necessarily a product that is going to work on Facebook. And if you go to, for example, the home niche, where you just sell home appliances and you sell home decor, that is a niche that's going to work really well on Google, most likely. Still pretty good on Facebook, but probably not the best on TikTok, for example. So you guys need to figure out which advertising platforms fits the different products. On Facebook, for example, a problem solver is really good. TikTok is more so an entertainment platform, which means a wow factor product could be better there. You could still run all of those products on the same platform, but just realize that some platform has a higher chance of success when it comes to certain products. Tip number 5, really short, because we already talked about it. You're running saturated products. If you're one of them, just stop it. Let's not talk more about saturated products. Just stop it. Tip number 6 is that you're not running video ads or you're not running multiple ad creatives. This is super important, especially if you're running a saturated product, but it's important no matter what. If you're running an untapped product, I'd still recommend you to do this. Don't rely on one picture. Don't go the cheaper route either. You want to save money, so you just run a picture or use the AliExpress video. I recommend you guys to either make a video ad yourself or to order it. I recommend you to order it if you're bad at making them. We just got to face the truth at this point. So get a video ad and run some pictures. You should run something around one video ad and then a thumbnail as the picture, because the video ad could come with a thumbnail. So that thumbnail could be a picture ad and a thumbnail for the video ad, and then 2 other pictures. So typically I would run like one video and then 2 to 3 pictures, because sometimes the pictures could work way better than a video. What I'm trying to say here is you should not just rely on one thing. Number 7 is having the perfect idea. This can be scary because a lot of people, when they started dropshipping, and this is more targeted towards beginners, this specific one, which is number 7, having the perfect idea, but it can still apply to some other people. So you're running a product, you're running up a store based on, for example, a saturated product, but you had this genius plan. You know how you're going to stand out, etc. You run a watch store, for example, and you have the perfect plan. Well, the truth is your perfect idea is usually bad. So you should base this around stats, what's actually working, and just analyzing the market. Base it around what the market wants, not your perfect plan. But I'm just saying, when I started out, I thought I had the perfect plan, and every time I thought I had the perfect plan, it never worked. I once had a perfect plan of running a fitness company that was based around clothing, where I was going to be running clothes. I hired a whole team. We set up so many systems, which is not the way to go. See if you can succeed, and once you succeeded, create the vision, create the big plan, but don't have the perfect plan when you're starting out. Because what if you just test the product and it flops? You wasted your time. Number 8 is using outdated strategies. You cannot be doing that. An outdated strategy, for example, is running PPE ads to LLAs, which is page post engagement ads, and then converting the engagements to LLAs. You should not do that. That's a super outdated strategy, and truthfully, it's never really worked. I know a lot of people have talked about it. It might have worked for some other people, but I think it's something weirder because I've never seen it work. But don't use outdated strategies. Just don't do any of that. That means you should not run engagement ads and then retarget, which I think a lot of you guys know now. But you need to figure out if this strategy that you're using is outdated. If you're watching a scaling video from 2 years ago, that video does not apply anymore. There's certain things you don't do anymore. I created a scaling video on my channel 1 year ago where I told you guys to narrow down the ad set. If you make sales, narrow it down to the ages. Which ages are buying this product? If it's 30-year-olds, I would have told you guys in that video a year ago that you should narrow your ad sets down to 20 to 30-year-olds. Now, Facebook is broad, which means you should not do that anymore. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, but I'll probably not try at all. Which means you guys need to stay updated on Facebook when it comes to scaling. A testing strategy is usually the same. Haven't really changed my testing strategy the last years. Just make sure you're updated on what's currently working on Facebook. That's why I recommend you guys to get in touch with someone who knows how to do dropshipping so that you can learn from them. Number 9 is running $5 ad sets. We really don't have to talk too much about it, but $5 ad set is not going to work. It leads us back to you competing with other people. They're spending a lot of money every day and you're running $5 ad sets. That's $35 a day, and if your plan is to make thousands of dollars a day, you cannot start out with $5 ad sets. I used to start out with $5 ad set when I first started dropshipping, but that was way over 2 years ago. I think we're coming close to 3 years now. We don't do $5 ad sets anymore. They're not working and they're really bad for optimizing in general. If you're running a $10 product, you could probably pull off $5 ad sets, but I see no reason to run such a cheap product. It's super important that you guys have a margin when you're dropshipping unless you're not paying anything for the ad. The next one, number 10, is probably the worst one on this whole presentation. It's not even a presentation. On this whole video. By the way, to everyone's asking, I just opened my course again. It's been down for like a month, but I just opened my course again. So if you're in the course and you want to get access again, the link's in the description. And if you want to get the course, a little sale now, and the link is also in the description there. And yeah, sorry for keeping it down. I just had to change it and upgrade it a little. That is you having distractions on your website. It could be spin the wheel, a lot of pop-ups. Just don't have any of that. You're technically just distracting the customer, which is not a good idea whatsoever. They're probably scared of shopping at your page in the first place, and if you do a lot of pop-ups, you could change their mind. They could think that it looks scammy, because the truth is a lot of pop-ups and stuff that's really screaming I want to sell to you looks a little bit scammy. So don't do any of that and seem like the cool guy, you know, showing off a cool product, but don't seem like you're really a seller, which you really seem like. And now I say seem a lot, but you really seem like that if you have a lot of pop-ups on your store. So just don't have any pop-ups. You could probably have an upsell, which is kind of a pop-up, but that is a smart one. I would not recommend it to have upsells when you're testing though, but be careful with these pop-ups unless it's like quantity breaks, etc. You should not have pop-ups on your page. Is really bad, and it's basically what the beginners are doing. And this is the part of the video where you smash a thumbs up. and subscribe. That would be cool. Number 11 is not having reviews. Even the biggest brands have reviews on their store because it builds trust. So it's super important that you have reviews on your store so that they can see that the people that's bought the product before them has actually gotten their order delivered. So you need to make sure you have picture reviews, 4 stars and up. Don't do 5 stars only either. It's not smart because that's obviously too good to be true. And what is too good to be true? It usually is. So have good reviews. You can use Luke's Reviews. It's the app that I use, but it's super important that you get good reviews into place because good reviews, that means trust. And trust is super important. You have a cold audience that is coming to your page who clearly doesn't know you and they don't even know if the page is legit. You got to have reviews. Like, you got to show them that this is a real business, and that's why you should not have pop-ups either. And number 12 is if you're selling worldwide or honestly just to the top 5 countries, you need to have a currency converter. Most people don't really know how to convert a currency, and if I were to ask my friends if they can convert, for example, a euro to our currency, they would probably not be able to do it. It's mostly finance people or people that is a little bit older who knows a lot about currencies. And you might say that, you know it and you're not a finance guy, which is totally normal. There are some people who knows currencies, but most people don't. So make sure you have at least some of the most important currencies, but just get the Currency Converter Plus app so that you have every currency that you could think of. It's really important. Back to what I said, if I were not a business guy, if I didn't dropship, I would not know how much a euro is, for example. And then I wouldn't buy for 10 euros. Most people have a short attention span, right? If they have to Google the currency themselves, they'll probably leave because it's just, another job that they have to do. So it's basically just you making it easy for the customer. Number 13 is that you could have a bad description. On screen here, you see how a good description looks. I usually do a paragraph and then a picture and a paragraph and a picture, as I talked about millions of times on this channel, but that is how a good description looks. You should not just have pictures on your actual product. You should have it in the description too, because it just creates a good layout. So first, I would just introduce the product. I do have a video on it, but I would introduce the product, not really tell people why they should get it. That just sounds silly. So never sound like a seller when you're making the product page. And then it's just the basics, a paragraph and a picture. And you should also model other people's products. So if you're going to run up a product, just search some saturated price on Facebook, get into other people's websites by clicking the video and then engaging with it so that you get on their website and see how they build their descriptions. Description is super important. So introduce it. Then the second paragraph could be you talking about the features, also how to use it. And then you end it off with saying like the sale is ending soon and just we have free worldwide shipping, and you got it. Just make a description that looks pretty good because that's what's going to convert, right? People are going to read it and decide if they're going to buy or not. I usually don't do too much ad copy in my actual ad. I write it more down in the description. So that's what's going to convert. But don't have it too long either, and make sure it's not spammy. Number 14 is if you're desperate, you're getting into dropshipping just because, let's just say you're having a baby in a month and you want to provide for your baby in a better way than what you're already doing, and you want to get into dropshipping because you want to make a quick buck. That's not how dropshipping works. It's hard. It's a hard business. It's easier than a lot of other businesses out there, but it's hard. So you need to go into dropshipping because you generally care about making money. You think it's cool. You just like the principle of business, not because you're desperate. If you owe $1,000 to the bank, you shouldn't get into dropshipping to make that money. You should just work a job. So make sure you're not desperate. And it's okay that you're, some desperate of money, but you still got to like dropshipping to some extent. You got to be interested, not just doing it just because you want to make a quick buck. Number 15, super important one, forcing a profit margin that can't be forced. You can never do that. This is super important. If you buy a product for $10, that doesn't mean it's worth 30. Some products you could buy for 10 and sell for 100. So some product is worth 10x. You kind of need to learn if that product is worth doubling, if it's worth 3x, or if it's honestly just worth the alley price. Because some of the suppliers on alley, they price the product perfectly. Let's just say you were to sell an iPhone and it costs $1,000 alley. Well, that iPhone is only worth $1,000. You can't double the margin. It's just not possible. But usually I'd like to have 2x margin. If I buy it for 20, I would like to sell it for 49, for example. That's a little bit more than 2x, but usually double the margin, and don't go for too high of a ticket when you're starting out. Not testing enough product is the last one. Is number 16. You need to test constantly. It's super important because if you cannot test constantly, it's going to be hard to find a product, because right now there's a lot of people in dropshipping. Facebook is honestly not valuing you. They're valuing the people that spends the most money, which means it's sometimes hard to get the perfect reach. And if you're not an expert at product research, maybe you're testing a lot of bad products. So your only way to increase your chance of success is by mastering product research. If you know how to test products on Facebook, chances are your product research game is off, or you just need to trust the process and realize that you have to test a couple of products. That is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you smash a like and that you subscribe. Once again, this video is more an eye-opener for you. I didn't really want to explain in depth how I do everything, because you could figure that out. I just wanted to tell you what could be the 16 problems you're facing, and then you could do more research on it, like how the perfect review look, for example. But that's it. I hope you smash a like and subscribe. As I said, I'm the Ecom boss. I'll see you in the next video.